I'm Frost and Austin.
I'm Isaac the Iceman.
I'm Molly.
And this is Macy.
We sold everything.
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 In pursuit of the unknown, with our trucks, boat, and fifth wheel, to chase wild adventure, to escape the monotony of life, to explore the great outdoors, fishing and hunting, to grow deeper as a family and enjoy God's creation, to make memories that will last generations. Join us on our journey. Hey, before we get started in today's video, every bait I talk about is down in the description. In all of my videos, all the baits we use, everything from rod and reel combos, baits, everything is always down in the description. So once we talk about all these baits and everything, realize you can just go below, click the links, go right to them and get them. They are absolutely awesome. I hope you enjoy this video. All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am really excited about today's video because I have had so many people over the years ask about this very topic. They say, hey man, you've been a guide, you know, you utilize a lot of big swim baits. What are your top 5 herring glide baits? When I think herring fishing, I think about Smith Lake, Alabama. I think about Lake Murray, Lanier, Chattooga, all of Western North Carolina, Fontana, Hiawassee, Glenville, Lake Norman, Kerr, Hartwell, Kiwi. I mean, you just name it, kind of Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas, really the heart of bass fishing. If you are a hardcore angler, you are dealing with herring lakes in some regard. And without question, one of the best techniques to utilize to catch numbers of fish, to catch big fish, to catch numbers of big fish is glide baiting, using big swim baits that move a lot of water. They have a lot of drawing power and they absolutely get followers, and obviously they get bites. And a lot of you guys care about, hey, which ones get bit? I'm gonna go over the top 5 herring glide baits that I utilize. Now, let's set some ground rules, right? When I think about herring across the board, herring are long, slender bait fish. They're not deep-breasted like a threadfin or a gizzard shad. Even alewife, which is the cousin of the herring, has a little bit of a deeper breast, deeper chest. Herring are long and slender, so I'm naturally thinking about long, slender glide baits, which, by the way, can be extremely difficult for manufacturers to make that, because a lot of times most glide baits, they need a big top. They need a big top and weight on the bottom. You know, that's the Clutch Boss, and that's a gizzard shad imitator, and it has a big, deep chest. And most glide baits are easier to make if they have a big, deep chest, just because you're working with more material. You're working with more material. You can disperse the weight throughout the bait a lot easier. That's the Hinkle shad, also a gizzard shad imitating bait. But when I think about herring baits, they're long and slender, and it can be difficult to get the right action out of that profile of bait because it's less material, it's more compact material, and you need the bait to stay upright. So first things first, I have utilized this bait this year and caught some really big fish on it. My buddy Milliken was like, man, I'm telling you, you got to throw it. You will be impressed. And he wasn't kidding. And that is the 6th Sense Draw. This is the 9-inch right here. They also have the 6.5, the 6.5 inch. Both baits I have caught really big fish with this year in numbers. Herring spawn, whatever. They are a plastic injected bait. So they're very consistent. They're also pretty durable. I've hit the bait on quite a few docks. I've had customers hit docks, rocks, everything. They are really durable, but they have that serpentine action, and then you can, you know, you can tune them a little bit. You can shave those joints down. I shave those joints down to give it more of an angle so I can get that bait to chop. That is such a key. You know, when I think about herring lakes, the fish are very aggressive. They school like crazy. They chase bait fish like crazy. So it's important to like have a bait that can cut and act erratic and get crazy, because that's what herring do when they're getting chased. So many guys, when they're glide bait fishing, they get a follower and they go, oh, and they stop it. But the deal is, you've got to keep that bait moving, and not only moving, but erratic. Get that thing chopping, flying, acting crazy, but not blowing out. If the bait blows out, 100% of the time, those fish are like, that didn't look natural, I'm gone. So it's important for a bait to be able to stay true, and the 6th Sense draw does really well. You can add some lead weight to the treble hooks to weight that thing how you like it. I do that to fish it a little bit deeper and a little bit faster, but the draw is great. The 9-inch, this is the 9-inch right here, and they have the 6.5-inch, and both of those baits are great herring baits. They're great if you're looking to not spend a lot of money. You're looking for like, hey, I'm looking for a really good herring glide bait for the price point. The draw is really good. Like I said, there are some minor things you can do to tune them, like cut that joint down a little bit. You can add some lead weight to the hooks or lead wire to the hooks, and that bait is a special bait that can produce a lot of good bites. Check them out. The 6th Sense draw is definitely one that cracks the top 5. All right, the next bait that I absolutely love, it's probably the one that I would say I have the most reps with and have caught the most fish on, is the clutch darter. My good friend Justin Kimmel helped Josh design that bait, and that bait right there has just a magnum crazy angle joint, and because it does, it has just the best chop action, man. You can freaking take this bait and you're walking it just like you would a super spook or a Sammy, a gunfish, I'm a little stick, whatever. It is a chopping, back and forth cutting style bait. When you reel this bait, not a whole lot of action. You can tune it to have a little bit of action, but the deal is it is a chop style bait, and it absolutely gets bit. What I love is when that bait collapses and folds, the hooks are closer. I love the hook placement here. I mean, those fish that are headshot in the herring, whatever, my hookup ratio is great with this. You almost don't need to tune it. You can add a little bit of weight to it, once again, to fish it maybe deeper brush piles or a little bit deeper in isolated hard spots on points, you know, places where your typical herring fish set up. But that bait right there, I have caught numbers of fish on. I've caught really big fish on it. I've caught fish on that bait, I mean, literally, Lake Murray, Lanier, Hartwell, Kiwi, Jocassee, Glenville, Fontana, Chattooga, Burton, Norman. I mean, that bait right there absolutely catches them. The clutch darter is, I would say, the most feared glide bait. I mean, that bait right there is just absolutely nasty. It gets bites. It catches good ones. It's durable. Man, it's strong. I have thrown these off of some things. I've had customers throw them off some things. They're a resin bait. Josh makes them with this unique resin that just is like super durable. That bait is an absolute beast. If you listen, they're a little on the higher price point. If you get that bait right there, I assure you, you will not be disappointed. The clutch darter absolutely jacks their tail. One of my favorite, if not my favorite herring glide bait ever. That bait absolutely gets it done. All right, my next bait is one I don't have a ton of practice with because I actually just got my hand on these, but I've seen guys throw them. I've heard buddies talk about how good they are, and that is the Sneaky Pete by G-Rat. I think that's like a 7.5-inch profile bait right there. That's actually my friend Jackson Rambanis' color. But once again, I think about a long, slender profile. This one's unique because it has a big, heavy rattle in it. And I would say on pressured fish, this bait maybe wouldn't shine where the darter would because the darter is completely silent. There's no noise out of the darter. And by the way, the draw does have some rattles in it too. That one has some rattles in it. And I think, once again, you're talking about fooling big fish. I think maybe if they're one-off followers, they're more likely to hit the darter. But if they're in schools of fish, a lot of times that hard knocking noise, if you think about it, baits have knockers because it actually simulates that popping noise of fish feeding, like that when fish suck something or eat something, they flare their gills, they hit something, right? That bait has that big loud knocker in it. But once again, a pretty big joint, and that bait you can once again retrieve, and it has a beautiful slalom action, but it also has a really good cut because it has a nice little joint on it. It comes with really good hooks on it. They're great. I think it comes with Gamakatsus, but that bait is a fish catcher. I know so because I have so many friends that have it. I just threw it the other day and I was like, wow. When I get back to herring lakes, that bait is 100% going into the arsenal. The Sneaky Pete by G-Rat, great bait. I don't think a lot of people have it. That bait right there, though, absolutely will get it done. All right, the next bait I want to talk about, I flipped my boat upside down. I thought I had one of these. They might be stored in that truck right there in my tackle bin, is a Gan Craft 178 jointed claw. And that bait is a 7.5 inch. Actually, I'll put one up right here. That bait right there, man, talk about a herring imitator, a herring size, everything you need. I have caught lots of fish over the years on that bait. Big fish as big as 6.5 pounds. Durable bait too. The big size, I think it's the 230, the Magnum Claw 230. It's very, I guess you would compare those baits, like they have the 230 and they have the 178, and it's very much like the 6 inch draws. They have the 9 inch and the 6.5 inch, except the Gan Craft jointed claws come in at 230, which I think is like 10 inches or 9 3/4 inches, and then the 178 7.5 inches. But either way, those baits right there, they're pretty durable. The 178 is a little less durable because it's a smaller bait, it's less material, it's also injected plastic. Very, very reliable, true out of the package. You're gonna get the same consistent action. The Gan Craft jointed claws usually have a little tilt, which I have noticed those baits really shine in colder water. I don't know why, but baits that have a little bit of tilt to them tend to shine in colder water, where baits that stay more vertical and don't blow up tend to shine in that warmer water. But the jointed claws by Gan Craft, really, really great baits. Threw them for a really long time, almost on a boat at a big bass splash on Smith Mountain Lake in Virginia on them. They absolutely get bit. Check those out for sure. All right, the next bait is another clutch bait, and it is the Eco right there. Now this bait is actually made to be a small gizzard shad or mature threadfin imitator. It does have a deeper chest, but that size profile is just a really, really good profile. I think that bait is like 5 3/4 inches, and it's just that right size to get bit. It's very serpentine, and you can also cut the bait. It's a very free bait. Once again, it's silent, which I think is a big key. That bait 100% can do work on herring fisheries. Just got my hands on this the other day. Super durable baits though. I mean, Josh has so much content out there, like taking hammers and hitting them and dropping like giant just objects on those baits. They don't dent, they don't anything, or they might dent a little bit, but they don't break. They are super great. That is the Clutch Eco, and that is awesome. And I think that's 5 baits, but I'm gonna throw in one other bait, and I'm gonna put it right here. Boom. That is the Deps 175 slide swimmer. Dude, over the years, I have utilized the slide swimmer, the 175. It is a fish catcher. It has the old ones have a resin body and then a silicone skin. The new ones are injected plastic and have a silicone skin. They absolutely get bit. Now you will, if you bang on them a little bit, you beat them up, you throw them on rocks, docks, whatever, they might get micro holes in them and they might start to take on a little bit of water, which can definitely affect the action. But I'm telling you, I have caught so many fish over the years, tournament fishing, trophy hunting, whatever, waterfall fishing, whatever I'm doing with that bait, man, it is an absolute fish catcher. Deps 175, I've caught a lot of big fish on it. I mean, as big as 8 pounds. I've caught numbers of fish on it. I've had tournaments where I've only fished that bait there and had just solid bags, 16, 17 pounds. It absolutely gets bit. I've caught spotted bass on it, smallmouth, largemouth, everything in between. And yeah, those are the herring baits that I utilize day in, day out when I am glide bait fishing. When I think about glide bait fishing herring lakes, those are the baits that I have utilized for years and years. I tend to throw a lot of the draw now, and the Sixth Sense is a great bait too. But all of those baits, man, absolutely get the job done. And like I said at the beginning, link is down in the description. All of the baits are down below. Go check them out, get your hands on them, use them. I always tell people the #1 thing you can do glide bait fishing is throw them. You want reps, you want time on the water. The more you throw it, the more fish you'll catch. As a guide, forever guiding people, a lot of times I'd guide them on, a bite, whatever they're doing, a fluke, topwater, whatever. and I'd be like, hey, I'm just gonna throw this off the side of the boat. And I would, I'd throw the glide bait out off the side of the boat, whatever. I got so many reps over the years throwing those glide baits, and I just got a lot of confidence with them, understood how they worked, when they shine, when they didn't, reading the body language of fish, understanding how to get fish to bite it and trigger a bite. But you know, all these little things, they matter. And a lot of times I'll say, hey, I don't think this bait works in this situation. And the only way you know that is reps on the water. So anyways, guys, I hope you found this video educational and informative. I hope you go out and catch a lot of fish utilizing the baits that I talked about today. And I appreciate you guys a ton. Thanks for watching.